You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, today is Thursday the 10th of October and welcome to The Diary of an Idiot Waffling On About Nothing. That's not the new title, it just kind of feels what it is at the moment because of my brain's inability to do any writing right now. And what I thought I'd talk to you briefly about today is a 1960s television series that I really feel I should have watched but haven't, and I suspect I'll really enjoy it if I watch it, because a lot of people that love Doctor Who also love this other series. Now, if I say The Avengers, the modern day audience will automatically think of, the Marvel cinematic universe movie events where lots of the main characters appear in the same movie, like Avengers Assemble and all the other ones they've done. And this is very unlike that, actually. It's a completely different show, and the first series was in 1961, and the first series was basically in episode 1 a doctor called Dr. Keel working out of his surgery. His girlfriend gets murdered by some drug, I don't know if they're drug dealers, I think they're drug couriers and suppliers more than anything else, and then this mysterious character who looks like he's the Secret Service-y type chap called John Steed helps him get justice for his dead fiancée, and did I say wife earlier? It's his fiancée. Yeah, his dead fiancée, and Keel ends up helping Steed. And then as the series goes on, after series 1, Dr. Keel disappears and Steed is replaced by various other characters, all female. I'm trying to remember the names of either the characters or the actors. Honor Blackman was one of the ones. There's quite a few. There was 3 main sort of companions to John Steed, and I think this is one of the reasons I'll probably think I'll like it as well. There are definitely Doctor Who parallels and an enigmatic central character who's assisted by female assistants that change every couple of series. The other thing that's very interesting about the Avengers is series 1 is very different. So series 1, we're introduced to Steed through the eyes of Dr. Keel. It almost feels like Keel is the main character. I mean, there's an episode, I think episode 6, doesn't even have Steed in it, I don't think. So it's very strange. But it's something I've always meant to watch. I know loads of people who love Doctor Who and love the Avengers and have always said you'll enjoy it. Now, this isn't going to be like Friends, I'm hoping, where everybody insisted, you've got to love Friends, you've got to watch Friends, you'll love it. And every time I say, right, I've watched season 1 now, it's rubbish. Oh, it doesn't get going till season 2. Right, I've watched season 2 now, still thought it was shit. Oh, no, it doesn't really get going till season 3. Right, I've watched season 10 now, it's utter bullshit. Oh, no, it doesn't really get going to the reunion. Yeah, whatever. I hate Friends. No, I think I am genuinely likely to like the Avengers. But what I think the reason I've never got into it is that season 1, the first series, 26 episodes, is almost entirely missing. They've only got up to the advert break of the opening episode, and then they've got, I think it's 2 or maybe 3 full episodes. So they've got 2.5 or 3.5 out of 26. And that's always put me off, and it never put me off with Doctor Who because there was always a way of accessing those missing episodes. At the very least, there's audio versions available, and they've actually released them commercially with narrations, usually by an original cast member, to explain what's happening in the bits that are more visual. But nothing like that existed for the Avengers. And then a company who I've mentioned before that I absolutely adore called Big Finish Productions, and I can't remember how long ago, I think it was about 7 or 8 years ago, decided to do a set of recreations of these missing episodes. Now, it's very interesting because some of them they had the actual episode that they could base the reconstruction on. Some of them they had what's called the studio shooting script. So in those days, anything that was outdoors, that had to look like it was outdoors, was shot on film in advance, and then they'd go into the studio and record all the stuff in a studio set, like the indoor stuff. And for some of these episodes, they've literally only got the studio script, and it'll say something like film insert to be played in at this point. But they didn't have a copy. They don't have the episode. They don't have a video. They don't know what's in those sequences that were shot outside, so they'd have to make an educated guess to recreate those scenes. Then I think there's a handful of episodes where they've got nothing more than a synopsis and a cast list. So they've had to recreate the episode knowing almost nothing about it. So I love that. And so, yeah, there's 26 episodes that Big Finish have done, 3 of which I can compare to the original episode, and the rest they've kind of had to do their own thing. And are, you know, I haven't got copies of the script, so I don't know. But basically, they've tried to keep the dialogue as close to the original. So where they've got the script, they've avoided the temptation to explain it more clearly or change it if they thought it was there was a better way of doing a scene, because they just decided they wanted it to be authentic, which I think is a really, really good choice. I actually listened to an episode from the first series, episode 6, actually, The Girl on the Trapeze. And then, because it exists, I then watched it. And it's a really good reconstruction. You know, the actors don't sound very much like the people who play their counterparts, but actually it's not so much that the voice is the same, but because it's not, but the character of the performance works. So it's obvious who's meant to be Steed. It's obvious who's meant to be Kill. They capture the feel of the characters, even if they don't sound much like them. The other thing that's quite interesting about the Avengers is that, as I say, they completely changed the format after Series 1. Keel gets dropped in favour of these female sidekicks. So I could almost possibly have gone straight into Season 2 without seeing Season 1, because it's so different and such a curiosity compared to the rest. But no, I'm glad I'm doing it the way I am. Big Finish are terrific, and they do a huge amount of stuff. They do Doctor Who, they've done some Space 1999, Star Cops, this wonderful BBC 1987 series. They only made 9 episodes for the TV, and it's terrific. Very much ahead of its time. Didn't do very well because it was stuck away at 9 o'clock on BBC Two in the middle of the summer, from memory. But it's a great show, and the version they've done is absolutely terrific. I love it. All the original cast and stuff. Obviously, it's not original cast for the Avengers, but no, they've genuinely captured the feel. Certainly, the episode that I listened to and then watched to compare them, I thought, well, they did a really, really good job. So yes, I'm looking forward to catching up with and finally getting to know this classic series that I probably would have loved if I'd been able to watch it years ago. Okay, that's enough from me. Hopefully I'll get the writing muse back at some point, but if I don't, I'll just keep talking about shit I like. Okay, thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Wright, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.